Hello and welcome everyone. This is Yanaman bringing you another Fleet Ops audio commentary. Today we have the pleasure of watching FunnyStuff versus Dominus Noctis as they face off on Duel. Now, Duel is a two-player map, and it is going to allow for some nice raiding and whatnot as it has these moons over here. But you can see as the players are setting up that Dom is the white Klingons over here, and FunnyStuff is the green Romulans down here. And both players are actually cloaking races, and these cloaking matches do have a tendency to be a bit of a cat and mouse and or just downright nasty. We see Dom setting up his mining and his putting up a field extension yard. Looks like he is going to go Brels as he is playing the Martok avatar. So we may see some Zeus's out on the board later. And you can see that he's also going to be queuing up a Cube Edge class as some additional fielding support. He's going Cube Edge classes, so oddly enough, unless he is going to be pumping 3 out at once, we shall see. So expecting a heavy Cube Edge rush on the way, and we have Shrikes out on the board by FunnyStuff. Now Shrikes do have a passive that allows them to take out the weapons of a destroyer, and these Cube Edge classes are destroyers. However, I've seen games where they just build time-wise as well as just money-wise, the Strikes just don't go toe-to-toe with the destroyer, these Cube Edge classes, because the Cube Edge classes come out in faster numbers. So we shall see how this works out for FunnyStuff. So FunnyStuff moving around here, getting some scouting going on. And he's going to be aware that he's going up against these Cube Edge classes. He's going to see one out of the starbase if he's clicking on that. Dom also is going to be aware of what's going on in the Romulan base, as there is nothing, and there's just now Research Institute. So heavy reliance on the Shrikes in the early game. You can see a Constructor, actually both players moving into early Constructor. We'll see what Dom puts up here. I see a lot of Klingons nowadays putting up an early heavy weapons platform. That heavy weapons platform really, especially the early one, really solidifies your position on the map here. However, you can see that Dom is aware of that, and that FunnyStuff may or may not actually be aware of this expansion. Dom going for the mining station, so he's going to go right into it, just like FunnyStuff is, and this is going to be interesting. So a Talon class out, a refit here. Actually, no, that's not a refit yet. So, but however, the Mere Presence is going to be able to sort of potentially scare off any scouting in this base, because a Talon refit does have the ability to detect cloak. It's probably one of the nicer cloak detects in 3.1.2, as when you refit this guy, he will occasionally tachyon ping, and yeah, tachyon ping, decloak, bye-bye scout. So Dom staying well away from any of the star bases, probably just out of range of the transporter here too. This guy is still not refitted yet. Oh, now there we see the refit. You see that he's got a special here, and that Dom will actually see that refit and is going to have to stay out of the base. One of the fun things about being an observer in a dual cloaking matchup is that you see a lot of this. You see ships next to each other. Now, if you happen to be playing around with your ships and they don't seem to quite line up right, the mere presence of a ship, even though it's cloaked, will still take up that space, and you can actually kind of figure out that there are cloaked ships there by sort of feeling in the dark, if you will. In the meantime, this Constructor slowly making its way up. Also, one of the other things that you see a lot of players do, yes, you can see this Constructor all by its lonesome coming around, and here comes some Cube Edge classes to say hello, and these guys don't have their special yet. And you see the Cube Edge classes actually coming up this Talon refit, making its way in here. The Shrikes wanting to bug out of here, getting the heck out of their this Talon refit, also trying to avoid any sort of confrontation, as the numbers and the firepower just are not in their favor. These Cube Edge classes are very sturdy ships, even want to get past their shields. So as far as ship-wise, Dom really does have a hand up on what's going on here. Just the ability to pump out so many ships from 3 production yards really is going to serve him well. So you can see in the meantime, he is now moving into field research, possibly going into a later ship. Though he is a bit strapped for cash here. You see something not building. So that early initial set of ships really making him strapped for cash. However, he is moving in on this Romulan expansion here quite without any sort of defense. He's going to pop out here, and it's just going to take out everything he sees here. And the Romulans aren't going to be able to do much, if anything, about it. These ships are going to try to run away. You can see that the Shrikes over here are not able to do near as much damage over here. They are aware of this fleet position, though, and if FunnyStuff is keeping count, which he kind of needs to, he'll see that there are 4 here, and that Dom probably has 1 or 2 floating around somewhere. You can see that there was a little bit of a skirmish going on because the Shrikes did move in here, and you can see that FunnyStuff is moving in because he knows exactly where that fleet is. Again, keeping a good handle on where your fleets are will really help you out here. And so the fact that these Shrikes are able to move in here unmolested, you can see these Katingas moving out. If nothing else, this is going to give Dom some additional scouts later on. Out comes another Cube Edge class somewhere along the way. This guy got seen, and now we have 3 Shrikes versus one of these guys. They are trying to take out this mining just to get it out of the way. You can see Dom trying to draw them off. Trying to save this last guy. It's going to get in here. It is not going to be able to be microed to use something else. Dom over here at the same time is trying to take down this mining here. And you can see here that the Shrike special coming in very handy there, disabling the weapons every now and again, just like that. Here comes a Katinga out with another Cube Edge class on its way. You can see that one of these Shrikes is getting a little bit far damaged. It needs to cloak out and get away, as are the rest of the ships. And we have a successful exchange of mining. Dom's ships have all been turned into Katingas. This one all but dead, sitting on about 1%. In the meantime, you can see that FunnyStuff is slowly producing Lavals, and these guys will be able to counter these Cube Edge classes quite nicely. They are just a sturdier ship. However, Dom has moved into cavorts, or is starting to produce them, and those, I believe, will actually have, I believe these cavorts have ADAI, and if they do, then that actually makes them kind of weak against support classes. We shall have to see on the tooltips. You can see Torpedo Drone coming up. That'll help his Cube Edge classes with their DPS, giving them a little bit of a torpedo.